Well, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Andrew Wilson here with our weekly weather update. It is Thursday. I was off yesterday, so we weren't able to do the weekly weather update on Wednesdays as we usually try to do. So let's go ahead and talk about what we can expect here as we head into the end of the week, into the weekend, and then early next week. We're also going to talk a little bit about the tropics. Things have started to get a little bit more active out there, and then talk a little bit more about what we have going on here as well for the end of the month of June with that 8 to 14 day outlook. First of all, we always like to talk about what's happening right now. This is, of course, Thursday afternoon at 2:31. Looking out towards Midtown and downtown from our DeKalb County camera there at Arizona Avenue. Looking like we have a lot of cloud cover, maybe a little bit of smog. You may notice a little bit in the air today, a little bit of a haze. We are dealing with the fact that there could be an unhealthy amount of ozone in the atmosphere that could be unhealthy for rather sensitive groups. Not for everybody, but for sensitive groups, those with asthma, those who may have heart issues or lung issues. You may notice that it could be a little bit harder to breathe today due to a little bit of an increased amount of ozone in the air. Looking out here from our Decatur camera towards Midtown and downtown, kind of from a bigger distance there, still beautiful, looking beautiful out from the airport. You see nice conditions out towards Atlanta Motor Speedway and then also out towards Truist Park. Not looking too bad there either. Temperatures, it is hot, really hot out there. Temperatures sitting in the upper 80s to lower 90s. We're all going to pretty much level off in that period as we head throughout this afternoon, kind of with hot conditions. And of course, whenever it gets a lot sunnier, a lot hotter, and we're kind of stuck in this kind of more stagnant weather pattern, we end up getting these. This is our second air quality alert of the year. The first one came just yesterday. This air quality alert in place for all the counties that you see shaded in orange because, again, we may have unhealthy for sensitive groups amount of ozone in the atmosphere. As of right now, we're at code yellow, moderate levels. But we do run that risk today of getting all the way up to a moderate level, or excuse me, up to an unhealthy for sensitive groups level. We don't expect to go all the way to the unhealthy category for everybody, but again, those who may have asthma or things like that, you may notice that's a little bit harder to breathe for today. Taking a look at satellite and radar, there is a little bit of shower activity up there into the higher elevations in the mountains when you get up all the way up into portions of North Carolina and Tennessee, just across the state line. We stay dry here in North Georgia for today. A lot of activity, though, for showers as you look out off the east coast of the United States and heading down there towards Fort Myers, Florida, getting down towards Naples. You see a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity stretching across portions of the Everglades and then over towards really Jupiter, parts of Florida. They're way down the peninsula. That's where they have some showers and storms, and they also have a bit of that going on closer on towards Panama City Beach right now where they have a severe thunderstorm warning. Always remember, if you're down on the beach and you start to hear thunder, see lightning, always head inside. And don't forget that you can take the 11 Alive app with you when you're on vacation this summer, and it can keep you informed on what the weather's doing wherever you're at. You can also explore the radar map whenever you're on the go. Of course, it can give you live looks whenever we have rain, but we don't have any rain on the radar here at home for today. 87 degrees right now, and you see that we get into the lower 90s later on this afternoon. That's the real hourly forecast. You can also watch weather updates live, like the one that you're seeing right now on your phone by hitting that Watch Now tab in the bottom of the screen. You can also get long form updates on weather and news, like whenever we had the big incident with the stolen bus in Gwinnett County that was taken on a chase here just a couple of days ago. Whenever there's a shooting or anything going on, as long as we have a live update occurring, you can watch live updates there on your phone or on the 11 Alive Plus app, which is a great tool to have because let's say you missed the newscast in the morning, you can actually watch it whenever it is a good time for you. So let's say you woke up at 8 o'clock, you missed the news update from Chesley and from Cheryl, Aisha, and Crash. Well, you can actually go back and watch the 6 o'clock news to make sure that you have all that information on what's been going on. Again, the 11 Alive Plus app available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices. Let's talk about the forecast. As we head throughout today, temperatures rising into the lower 90s. We're going to have a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky at times. You saw that outside when we were looking at the cameras earlier on. Then we move into tonight. Temperatures dropping down into the 60s and 70s, mostly clear overhead. And then for the afternoon on Friday, we remain dry with highs in the lower 90s. It is going to be hot because it's not just going to be temperatures in the 90s. We'll have increased humidity. It's going to feel hotter out there with the heat index, so just be ready for that. We then move into Saturday, starting off in the 60s and 70s and then rising again into the 90s for the afternoon. We are not going to have a cool down in time for the weekend. It's actually just going to stay hot. You're going to see that here when we look at the 7-day forecast in a moment. Humidity by day, see that we're hanging out in the high level of comfortable. So yeah, it says comfortable, but y'all, it's still going to be hot out there. We're also going to be up into the humid category there as we head into Sunday and Monday, letting you know that the humidity is really going to climb. It's going to start to feel a little bit more sticky outside, and at least we're not going to be in the 70s for dew points, but it's still going to really feel humid. And as we get more moisture in the atmosphere with humidity, we also end up seeing rain chances go up. We have a slight chance for rain there on Sunday, isolated showers and storms for Monday, and honestly, that's really it for the week. We're not going to have much rain. Rain chances remain fairly low. And with that being said, we get very little rainfall to accumulate. Over the next 7 days, I think a lot of North Georgia is going to miss out on rain completely. Some spots may get up to about 1/4 of an inch. That's it. We're talking about really low amounts of rain. And we could use some rainfall because we are trending dry now for the month. We finished up May behind average on rainfall, and right now we are behind average for the month of June by a little under an inch. So we could use a little bit more rain because, again, we have been trending a little dry. We're still ahead for the year, though, and that's thanks to how wet it was, especially back in March when we had nearly 8 inches of rain in 1 month. You see back in April, we also had very wet conditions there, and it was a pretty wet January. So with all that being said, you know, we had a lot of rain, but now we're hurting for it again. So hopefully we can get some pretty good soakers of a rain. We don't want any floods, but a pretty good soaker to try to kind of push us back well ahead for rainfall for the year. Because it has been pretty dry here for the past about month and a half, you see abnormally dry conditions have returned across parts of North Georgia down into middle Georgia. And that was just a little tiny area over Atlanta when we looked at last week's Drought Monitor update. Remember, Drought Monitor, it updates every Thursday. So we're not going to see this map update again until Thursday. And I would imagine that it's going to grow even larger, that area of abnormally dry conditions. They've also seen that occur up towards the Mississippi Delta, stretching on over towards Tupelo, Mississippi, and then moving into western portions of Alabama. You also see some of that over towards areas of South Carolina. You know, something we've been looking at every single week, too, is we've kind of given an eye out what's happening off towards the west. Off towards portions of New Mexico. We've talked about how little exceptional drought there is in the United States right now. They've had a little bit of shower activity out there in New Mexico, and that area of exceptional drought has shrunk. We almost have zero exceptional drought in any of the United States, which is pretty impressive. And again, a lot of that has to do with all the rain that we had back in the earlier part of the year. But some recent rain out there in New Mexico, has almost gotten rid of all the exceptional drought that we have in the United States. Temperatures back home, now switching gears back home, they're going to be hot here over the next few days. We talked about that earlier on. We're going to be into the mid-90s to even upper 90s for highs as we head into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. By the way, the hottest temperature we've had so far this year in Atlanta, 93, just a few days ago. So that lets you know 95, 97, 95, 3 days in a row. It is going to be really hot. Make sure that you're being careful. Drink plenty of water and use caution out there if you're going to be outside for an extended period of time. Take breaks in the shade, drink plenty of water, light-colored, loose clothing. You know the drill. It's now summertime here in North Georgia. We talked about it a moment ago. Of course, we had the hottest temperature of the year so far here in Atlanta, and it looks like my graphic did not update properly. Let me go ahead and make sure I give you the exact number there. The hottest temperature was in June so far for this year, and you see that the second hottest temperature was back on May 24th. We hit 90 degrees. So we haven't hit 90 too many times this year. We've only hit it two other times other than what we expect for today, because again, for today, we are expecting to hit that 90-degree mark again. And 93 was hit back on June 9th. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this graphic has updated properly for our evening shows. Again, you know, as meteorologists, we don't just do the forecast here at 11 Alive. We also build the graphics and everything. Everything you see on TV done in the weather world here, we create that ourselves. So you see June 9th, that was when we hit 93, the hottest day so far, but we're likely going to break that here over the next few days. Your 7-day forecast reflects that. You see that we'll hit 95 here as we head into Friday, 97 for Saturday. Dry for both of those days. And then we're going to be dry also for the most part on Father's Day, but a slight chance for maybe a brief shower or two. That's about it. Isolated showers and storms then for Monday, and then you see Tuesday and Wednesday back to being dry conditions. I would expect the fact that we're probably going to have those air quality alerts like what we had today and what we had yesterday. I would expect it again for tomorrow, and then Friday, and then Saturday, maybe even Sunday, and it may be Monday when we finally get a break from these air quality alerts where the air could be unhealthy for sensitive groups. So just giving you an idea, with a lot of sunshine and then the heat, that tends to get things going as far as ozone is concerned and can increase the amount of ozone that we're dealing with at the surface. So I would expect it to continue to be an issue over the next few days, and of course we'll keep you updated on that. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook beyond the next 7 days. The last time we did a weather update, we talked about how it was expected to be above average temperatures. And here we are moving through that 8 to 14 day timeline from when we were talking last week. And you can see that the temperature is going to be well above average. This could mean lower to mid 90s this time of year. That would be well above average, and it's like above average temperatures are what we can expect as we move into the end of June. And then as far as rainfall is concerned, maybe around average rain. So likely not going to see any improvement here as far as the dry conditions that we've had for a majority of this month. Time to talk tropics. We have two systems that we're keeping an eye on. A low chance for tropical development off the coast of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina, kind of right there within that notch. That is forecast to move away from land. So not really expected to be a threat for us, but something to keep an eye on. And then we have a medium chance for tropical development over the next 7 days down into the areas just west of the Yucatan Peninsula, something that we are going to want to keep a close eye on. Not a threat for us right now, but again, something to keep an eye on. The Air Force Reserve hurricane hunters were out trying to investigate earlier on today, but they had to turn around. I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like they got kind of close out to the area that they were going to investigate. They had to make a U-turn. Sometimes they have issues with some of the sensors on their aircraft and they do have to turn around. So maybe they'll send out another one of their C-130s to try to gather some more information on these areas of disturbances. They are forecast to fly again tomorrow. They're expected to. They've been issued a flight plan for tomorrow to fly. And we'll have to see what happens to see if they can gather us some more information on these areas that we call invests to try to find more information about them. Of course, hurricane season started June 1st. It ends on November 30th. NOAA forecasts a well above average season with 17 to 25 named storms. 8 to 13 of those could become hurricanes. 4 to 7 of those would become major hurricanes, possibly. So something, of course, to keep an eye on. Alberto, if we ended up getting our first named storm soon, would be the first name on the list. Okay, quick update here on your weekend getaways before we kind of wrap things up here. Again, we do have some drier conditions for a majority of this weekend. Some showers and storms possible in some spots on Sunday and then again on Monday. Looking stunning down towards the Emerald Coast of Florida, down towards Destin. Gatlinburg looking like another great location with temperatures still hot, even all the way up in the upper 80s in Gatlinburg. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're ready for some of that heat. I'll bring back up the 7-day forecast for you here just so you can give another look at it before we sign off of here. Don't forget you can get the update there on the 11 Alive Plus app, 11alive.com, and you can always get updates on 11 Alive, the NBC affiliate right here in town. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll have another update on Sunday.